Hello, my name is David Gaines, and I'm the chairman of the Republican Party here in Franklin County, Georgia. I'm pleased to be working with my team to bring you a series of videos interviewing the candidates that are running for Board of Commissioner here in Franklin County in 2026. Today, we're going to be interviewing Wesley Fricks. I'm excited to have him here. Wesley, thank you for coming.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting us over.
Yeah, we're excited to do it. As you watch these videos, one thing that you're going to notice is some of the questions are a little bit different from one candidate to the other. In the text of the video on YouTube and on Facebook, you should be able to look in the description and see the candidate's announcement. We think it's important today to focus on who the candidates are as people, but also let them lean into the things that they feel are most important for the community and the county. And so as I talk with Wesley, I'd like for you to look at his announcement, read what he's written, and see what you can glean from that and how you can get to know him better. Some of the questions will be the same for the candidates, but at this point, we just want you to get to know who they are as individuals. So with that being said, Wesley, tell us about yourself.
Well, I'm a lifelong resident of Franklin County. My ancestors come to Franklin County in 1815. They got married in 1818 and got a land grant in 1821. It's up on the northern part of the county. So they farmed the land here for 125 years. And then all the descendants sort of trickled down and, some of them moved away. But fortunately for me, I was happy that my family kept me here. So I went through the Franklin County school systems here. And I grew up right here in Royston and just always loved Franklin County. When I was in high school, there was a lot of activities going on that, with the agriculture departments and stuff. And it was just a lot of fun and I enjoyed it. Then, I grew up and I met my wife, Charmin, when I was 19. And we lived around this area for quite a while. And then later, we moved to Tampa, where she grew up, and we enjoyed living there a little while. And about 10 years ago, we moved back home, and I'd come back ready to do everything that I possibly can for Franklin County to leave a wonderful, wonderful legacy of contributing to the good of our community. And I want to represent every citizen of the county, whether you like me or you don't. I want to represent all the citizens, and I want to do. And I hope that if I'm elected and 4 years pass, people look back and say, I'm glad I voted for that guy. I'm glad he was my commissioner, because if nothing else, I want to be the hardest working commissioner Franklin County's ever had. And so that's a little bit about me. I do work for FedEx Corporation, and I enjoy that. It's a great organization. They got a lot of exciting things coming up that they're doing. I also own a record label in the concert business, and we manage a couple of country music singers out of Nashville. So we're proud of that, and as a matter of fact, we're leaving tomorrow to go to Pigeon Forge for the induction ceremony for one of our country music singers. We got him inducted into the North American Country Music Hall of Fame, which we're very, very excited about that. So that's the only thing going to keep me off the campaign trail, but I just grew up here. I've been in the logistic business most of my life, and we got a lot of customers in Franklin County and up and down 85, and so we just enjoy doing what we do, and we're happy, and we want to be able to share something good for the communities that comprise of Franklin County.
Well, thank you. So this is not your first time running for office in Franklin County. Tell me a little bit about your political history.
Oh yeah, well, I ran for the city council in Royston, and I was really proud of every campaign that I had with the city of Royston. I think I said the right things. I think I did the right things. I think my heart was in the right place. Unfortunately, I just wasn't as connected to people who are connected to votes. And so this time's different. And so we're excited about our campaign here. We got a lot of great things happening, and we're doing a lot of great things. And we just want to deliver for the citizens of Franklin County. People always ask me silly questions about who I voted for here, my only allegiance is to the citizens of Franklin County. And I want to make them proud of me. And I'm going to do everything in my power to get out there and work hard and do everything I can to meet the needs of the citizens of Franklin County. And that's what I'm about.
Yeah. When did you decide to enter this race, and what were some of the factors that went into that decision?
Well, I'll be honest with you. You know, I ran for the city of Royston for a few times, but that wasn't my ambition. My ambition is to be a Georgia State Senator. And, you know I got a long way to go to get from where I am to there, but, you know, this is the process. This is the next step. And so it's important for me to take advantage of this opportunity and, you know, start working for the people of Franklin County. And then who knows, you know, maybe somewhere down the road, there's a bigger opportunity in one of the state legislature houses, the House or the Senate.
Your campaign focuses heavily on bringing unity to Franklin County.
That's right.
How did that come to be the core of your message, and how would you accomplish this?
Well, you know, like everybody loves unity. It is commonplace among citizens of this county. They want a government that works for and respects the people, and they want people that works together. That's just almost any public service division that you can think of. You got to have unity to be very successful. And that's the center of the message. You know, there's anybody that watches the Board of Commissioners right now can tell that there's some division, and we just want to unify that. You know, for whatever reason that the division exists is beyond me because I'm not a commissioner. But once we get there, we want to unify the board and unify the whole county because and I do that by working with the municipalities, the mayors, and the leadership of each community and each city, and bring people together. Let's work together to make Franklin County the greatest county that it could be. And there's a lot of opportunity here. We just have to decide the smartest opportunities that are available and how they can work for Franklin County.
Your message calls for common sense leadership that respects the people that it serves and listens to them. You touched on your professional history a little bit, but tell us about how that professional experience would translate into you enacting that type of leadership.
Yeah, I work in a business where you know, customers are our biggest and greatest asset, along with our people. And you know, I just spent my life respecting people and understanding. You know, my job is to identify their needs, understand those needs, and then execute against those needs. And that model is going to transfer over to the decisions I make for the citizens of Franklin County.
Gauging from social media, it looks like you've had time to travel around the county a good bit. You've emphasized listening to people. What are some of the biggest things that you've heard that really stand out to you?
Well, there's a lot of things that people say to me that falls within the authority of the commission. Mm-hmm. And there's some things that don't, you know, and so those things would, you know, our advice to those people is share with them where they can get help for that. And but some of the biggest things that we heard people say is they want lower taxes. They want some kind of tax break because the last year or so, taxes have gone up 50%. 65 to 70% of property taxes derived from the schools. Mm-hmm. And they're not rolling those school millage rates back. And they can't. You know, if we want the best education, we're going to have to pay for it. So there's not a whole lot we're going to do in rolling back the school tax, but the other percentage of property taxes come from the commissioners. And the commissioners have been rolling back the millage rate for the last dozen years. It's just not enough. We're going to have to figure out a way to bring in some common sense industrial growth that's going to provide some tax revenue that's going to give our citizens a tax break. And that's what we have to figure out. And a lot of people get scared. We're not going to bring in industry that's going to cover the farmland. That's one of our other goals, to protect the farmland. So there's funds in place right now through the government that farms can get. It's called the Farmland Protection Fund, that farmers can get to help them protect the land around them, so that big industrial plants are not being built up against a farm. And we want to emphasize that and push that. We want every farmer in Franklin County receiving those funds. But that's the way we want to protect the farmland. And we're just looking to identify the opportunities that are out there for us to help bring in some industrial growth that's going to bring that tax relief that we're looking for to the citizens of Franklin County.
Yeah, my next couple of questions actually focus on some of the things that you just talked about. So you mentioned lowering taxes while fostering industrial and economic growth, at the same time protecting farmland. You talked about it some, but kind of give us a broad definition of how you'd work to find that balance.
Yeah, we know, as I said, we don't want to bring in industrial growth that's going to crowd the farmland. We're not going to do that. We have no interest in doing that. What we want to do is find suitable property in the county, right? That's in an area that's suitable for some industrial growth. And we want it to be smart industrial growth that's going to be good neighbors to our communities. And so we want to attract those types of businesses to Franklin County. And in return, they're going to pay taxes that are going to be shared through the county, that's going to alleviate the tax burden on our citizens, especially our seniors. I mean, I've heard that as I go out across Franklin County and talk to the farmers and the people outside the city and even in the cities. And people talk about how their taxes went up 5 or 6 years ago from $800 to now they're paying $3,800 or $4,000. And it's just a big burden on our seniors, especially our seniors that are property owners. And we just want to really find ways to help them get the relief they deserve.
You've mentioned strong schools being the key to building strong communities, and you talked about the balance of the Board of Education's millage rate and the Board of Commissioners' millage rate. What role do you see the Board of Commissioners playing when it comes to education?
Well, there's the Board of Education sets the millage rate for the money that they think they need to operate the school systems in Franklin County. They probably get funding another way, but there's not a whole lot that the board can do in that respect. But in respect to how they can help in other ways, it might be infrastructure, it might be a lot of things, and there may be things that once I become a commissioner that I learn more about, and I'm going to be asking those questions. How can the board help the school system? And like me, there's just a lot of things that probably can be done, and I might not know everything about what they are at this time, but I hope we have another interview and I have plenty of answers for you. But my goal would be to go in and ask a lot of questions and find out what it is that the board can do for them. And then, if it makes sense to the citizens of Franklin County, then we would want to try to execute against that or for that.
Yeah, absolutely. If you were elected, what would be one early win or tangible first step that you would hope to accomplish in your first year?
In the first year, really would be bringing unity to the county. And let's work with the local governments and let's move forward as one community, one government, and one future. And I think if we can do that, it's something that everybody wants. Regardless of where we're at right now, everybody wants to work together. And the citizens of Franklin County wants a government that works together for the best of the citizens. And it's counterproductive not to be unified. And so we're going to work hard in the first year to do that, but also to have some kind of solidified, good working plan to lower taxes for our seniors and for the citizens of Franklin County. Because I think that's important. I think nobody's here to be a hero, but I think that's what a hero would do, is come in and lower find a way to lower taxes for the citizen. Then it may take a while for the wheels to spin and it take hold of itself and take traction and start making things work out in a positive way. And it could take less. Who knows? It depends on the circumstances. But those are definitely two things I would like to see in the first year. Either have some of that stuff in place or have a plan in place that's making it work.
You talked about this in your description of yourself, but let's imagine it's 2030, which sounds crazy to think about, but it's only 4 years away. It's 2030 and you're finishing your first term as a commissioner. What do you hope Franklin County looks like?
Well, again, I hope that they have, I hope that we have a plan in place that's working to have the taxes lowered for the citizens, because that kind of relief is going to be the first thing that they're going to see, that they're going to benefit from. And so that's really where I hope Franklin County is in 2030 is, they have a better tax situation. And so that's where I stand on it. And I just hope I hope in 2030 people look back and say, I'm glad I voted for that guy. He was the hardest working commissioner Franklin County ever had.
Is there anything that we haven't discussed here in the early stages that you want voters to know about who Wesley Fricks is and how you would operate as a commissioner?
Yeah, I first of all, I put Christ first. He's the reason I'm here. My family believes in that, and they believe in me, and they love this community, and they want to see it grow and prosper and we want to make Franklin County the best county in the state, regardless of its situation. We know it's got a lot of potential. There's a lot of wonderful things that you can come to this county and get that you can't get somewhere else. And so we're looking at and talking to people outside of the county to try to figure out how they're doing some things. Like, for instance, Towns County up in the northern part of the state, they have the lowest property taxes in the state of Georgia. So we're talking to them, trying to figure out how they're doing it. And the commissioner up there, Cliff Bradshaw, is a wonderful guy and done a lot of good for the community, and he's continuing to work in making that county great. And if we just listen to the people around us that are doing great things, we could implement some of those good things in Franklin County, and it's going to benefit all of our citizens. And that's who we're here for. We're not here for me. There's nothing I particularly want out of the deal other than to leave a real good, positive legacy behind.
Wesley Fricks, thank you for coming out today.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for stepping forward and being willing to run. I know it takes a lot of courage, a lot of time, a lot of energy, effort, stress, and on behalf of the community, Franklin County, thank you for stepping forward and making that effort. I want to thank you, the viewer and the listener, the engaged citizen, for taking time to watch this interview. If you've made it to the end, that already says something about who you are as a person. You're somebody who cares about your local government, who cares about what's going on in your community, and who wants the best for it. And so we want people like you to be engaged in the process. We're having a community forum on April 25th at the Carnesville Community Center at 3 p.m. In the description of this video, you'll see an email address. We would love to include questions from the community to our candidates. And so if you have a question that you want to ask Wesley or any of the other candidates, please send us an email. And we look to include multiple questions from community members to make sure that you're involved in the process. We also would encourage you to follow our social media for key updates on the race and the candidates, as well as to see what the Republican Party is doing here in Franklin County. And if you're interested in those things, we would also invite you to become a member of the party. We're growing very quickly, and our goal is to do what we're doing right now, which is to ensure that the people of Franklin County have adequate representation by Republican candidates at the local level, which is what we're doing today, but also at the state and federal level. And so we want to build those relationships, put Franklin County on the map, and make sure that our politicians in Franklin County in Atlanta, in Washington, D.C., know our people, know the needs that we have for our community, and know the passions that we have for making sure that our home is a home that's loved and respected well. And so if that's something that you want to be a part of, look in the description of the video and we'll show you ways to join. Come out to our forum, come talk to me or any of the board members or any of our regular members, and we'd love to have you be a part of what we're doing here in Franklin County. Be sure to watch all the other videos, get to know all the candidates, share them, the videos with your friends and with your neighbors, and let's make sure that we're a Franklin County that's invested and involved together, working to protect our home and love one another well.